Committee reports. Mr. Green, Library.
Thank you, Mr. President. I think several meetings ago you had asked a specific question about someone you were referencing who was not able to use the law library as they previously had thought they could. And I'm going to make a public announcement about that because I think people in the public need to understand about their library card and what it can do for them. When you join the library, you get a white card like this. It's a Link card, and it has a barcode on the back like you're used to seeing and scanning. So if you have one of those old cardboard membership cards from the library that's not any longer valid, you need to go to the library desk, register, and get the new McLink card. Now, the McLink system is a statewide system. Every public library in the state is connected to the McLink system. So when you get this card, you can take this card anywhere in the state, and you should be able to access the books in the library, Chester County, Berks County, wherever, any state library. However, the law library is not a public library. It's a specialized library. And there is no charge if you use the law book libraries in the law library. And you had mentioned that the individual was now running into a fee. Well, currently there's a $35 fee, annual fee, in order to check the books out of the library and use them at some place other than the library site itself. So that's probably the problem you're running into. And if the person you were referencing had perhaps a friend or an inn, the friend or inn is no longer there because they've had a shakeup in their staff. Some of the rules that they were operating under previously weren't being applied, and the people who were violating, the employees who were violating those rooms have been removed, and the people now are following the rules that should have been in place all along. So the point is your McLink is access to any public library.
Okay.
And the law library is a special
to remove
case.
The books from the library.
Yes, that will cost you $35 to actually remove them. An annual fee, yes.
Okay.
Now, there are other private libraries where the McLink will not work as well. There are lots of libraries, small private libraries that have special collections. Those you will need specific permissions to use. The McLink Pass will allow you to get into those specialized private libraries for access to specialized material. I'd like to thank several nonprofit organizations for providing some funds that we will be using to help recarpet the downstairs. I didn't bring any duck tickets, partly because they're available at the library, and I want you to go to the library to get them. When you're there, take a look at the downstairs, because we have rearranged everything in the downstairs to make it more efficient. It's much more open than it was previously. So if you haven't been to the library at all, you probably won't recognize it from the old appearance, but it's the same building, and we're just doing some things inside to make it a little more efficient. Our next project, with the help of Seroptimists Club in Pottstown, and the First Presbyterian Church, which has a fund which they distribute to other nonprofits for various projects. The funding that they will give us will help us recarpet that downstairs space, which is our children's department. And with the help of the Rotary, we are finding now a use to create even more space in a portion of the library basement that previously was not accessible, which now is accessible, because we have reorganized and gotten rid of some things that were stored in that basement that were no longer profitable to be there. And that is a maker space. That's a space for crafts for kids, a maker space for them to use to get things done in the library while they're there. So we're continuing our efforts to make the library timely, useful, and efficient. And these are the most recent additions since we've had the overall renovation on the first floor. The duck race tickets are on sale, as I've said, $5 a ticket. You can buy them through July 4th. The duck race will take place as part of the July 4th celebration. As a previous winner, I got a nice ice cream maker, so it's possible that you can get a TV or an ice cream maker. There are some significant gifts. And if you don't buy your duck ticket at the library itself, there is a space on the ticket for you to designate which nonprofit you want that money to go to. So please consider checking the box for a Pottstown Regional Public Library, even though you may have purchased that ticket at any other vendor. There's a space on the ticket itself that will allow you to say, I want my portion of the profits to go to the public library, because the more tickets we sell, the bigger slice of the pie we're going to get at the end of the program. There are two tours. Well, there's a tour to Gettysburg happening Sunday, June 4th. It's an all-day tour. It's being presented by Mike Snyder, who writes the historical pieces for the Mercury. It will feature those participants in that Civil War action who were residents of Pottstown at some point in their lives. Very interesting. It's well worth the time and cost to be there on that tour. And we're also having a fundraising called Painting with a Twist. For those of you who are not familiar with that, there's a location in the Spring City, I guess it is, that gives you an art lesson as part of a party atmosphere. And you walk away from that with a painting that you do, which they will teach you how to do, step by step. And in the process, you'll have some beverage, you'll have something to eat, you'll have some good conversation, do some networking, so on. And the profits from that event, which is scheduled for June 14th this year, will go to the regional library. I think that's about it. So again, lots of activity going on. Oh, there is one other thing I forgot. The first and the third Thursday of every month, so the next one coming up is the 18th. Congressman Ryan Costello has his office hours on the mezzanine level in our new space, the first and third Thursday of each month from 11 a.m. till 5:30 p.m. So it's virtually an all-day time that he'll have someone from his office there. If you've been tuned into the news nationally, there's a lot going on, and I'm hoping lots of you folks contact your representative and let him know how you feel about what's happening at the federal level. If you've been tuned into the news, there's lots of things. I'm not going to politicize it any more than that. But as far as library services are concerned, the federal government is woefully deficient in supporting public libraries. So we need someone to push more funding for public libraries across the United States. They have to be among the absolute lowest priorities as far as our federal government is concerned. We need to turn that around, and we need your help to do it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Green.